Welcome back to Sound FX. Now, in the world of rock and roll, most musicians would consider themselves to be liberals. Wildman Ted Nugent has always gone the other way, always been one of sort of the reactionary, right-wing, gun-toting, hunting, all this stuff. Now, in the wake of the Oklahoma City bombings, he seems to be changing his tune a little bit. And the question we're going to talk about tonight with Jim Bessman, rock critic for Billboard, is Ted Nugent really his own man, or is he just backpedaling? And this is something that we have a new album coming out from Ted Nugent, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But he's always been known as this guy on his album covers. He's endorsed by all these things. And the first question, I guess, is why should we care whether Ted Nugent thinks this or thinks that?
Well, I think one reason why we should care is because he does get a lot of coverage for his beliefs, which are far to the right, at least much farther to the right than any other pop star that I can think of. And he gets a lot of play out of that. He gets quoted a lot in the rock press and sometimes in the mainstream press.
Well, and you said something interesting when we were talking earlier, and I may be slanting this a little too much, but you said that because he's been in such support of gun groups, as I said, the NRA, he has his camp for kids where he teaches kids how to hunt. He talks about you should kill animals and you should use all parts of them. Then this Oklahoma City bombing happens, this horrible tragedy, and he condemns it. Well, who wouldn't condemn it? And my question to you is, you buy this? That, oh, he's a changed man, or is...
Well, I don't buy that he's a changed man, but I will give him credit, and I will believe that, yeah, he honestly condemned that bombing.
Well, let's show a little of this video that we have of Nugent, and let's look at this as we talk about... So you're saying that, I guess my point is, when you watch this, who wouldn't condemn something as horrible as that, and does that really change?
A lot of the groups haven't. A lot of people have not, and a lot of people have. George Bush, for instance, has been so good in canceling his membership to the NRA. I don't think it's unreasonable to think that Ted could condemn this bombing, which he did in one interview, and not believe it, even though he does espouse a lot of the kind of philosophies that the militias are becoming known for.
Well, it's interesting because it really brings up the question of whether or not Nugent really is more of a political figure, even though that sounds like a stretch, than he is a musical figure.
No. In fact, I would say in the last 10, maybe even longer than that amount of years, he has become much more vocal and known for his politics than music. And I should make note of the fact that the band he was in prior to this record, Damn Yankees, was very successful. It was a platinum album selling act. And
yet a lot of the criticism was that they couldn't handle him.
That's true. Apparently that's very true. The other principals in that band did not share his beliefs, and he focused on those anti-gun control, pro-hunting beliefs to the point where it got in the way.
Let's take a listen to his newest song, I Shoot Back. This is...
I Shoot Back. Yeah, I mean, that says it all. He's... let's see, there was a time when man stood strong, right was right and wrong was wrong. It's very basic here.
So you could make the argument in some ways that when it'd be easy, all musicians go left. All of them say, save the animal, save the disc. Nugent, you could say he went the other way simply as to have a place to be separated from the pack.
You could say that, but in fairness to him, I mean, I think he fully believes what he says, and it's to his benefit that he gets a lot of play for saying something that goes contrary to the norm.
So why are we talking about him? I mean, because it's interesting. You're a very well-respected writer, and you said, you know, this is interesting to talk about. Why is it?
Well, it's interesting because he is a voice of a philosophy that is apparently held by a lot of people in this country that a lot of us, speaking for myself, don't know a whole lot about, that has, of course, gotten a lot of attention in the wake of the Oklahoma bombing. And he's a very vocal and eloquently vocal espouser of those kinds of beliefs.
That was very eloquent yourself there.
I tried hard.
All right, Jim. Well, I appreciate you bringing up this topic. It gives us something to think about, something I never would have thought about, quite frankly. So thanks for bringing it up.
Thank you.